My name is Elliot Sampson, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. The name of my business is Sampson Sound and Lighting, and we do AV production for live events. I've applied so many things that I've learned, but I think specifically from today is making sure that some of my systems are in place when it comes to the three-legged marketing stool. The atmosphere is amazing. That's why I love to come back in person. It's nothing like being here in person. Clay's presentation style is super energetic and hilarious, and at the same time filled with a bunch of really practical and usable knowledge. Oh man, this conference is unlike any other. It's the environment and the energy is just fantastic. You know, I got involved by listening to the podcast, and that's great, and the podcast is amazing, and I recommend everyone subscribe. But there's nothing like being here in person. When you're in person, you get to ask your own questions, and you get to really meet everyone in person and have your business questions answered to your business specifically.
All right, we're calling our next guest here, Jason. This is with Sampson Sound and Lighting. We're calling L.A. here now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Elliot, what's up, man?
Hey, good morning.
I'm sorry for the delay here. We just did a call-in with a Thriver based in Florida, and now we're switching coasts. For the listeners out there that are not familiar with where you're located, where are you located, my friend?
Ooh, Los Angeles, California.
What has caused you to live in Los Angeles, and are you not aware of the taxes?
Oh gosh, Clay, I was born this way, so yeah.
Can you? I know you can't necessarily name drop all of the big clients you work with because
Name drop.
Because certain things are private, that kind of thing. But could you share with listeners what the name of your company is and some of the big time people you've worked with over the years?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
it's Sampson Sound and Lighting.
Okay.
And we've worked most recently with L.A. Reid, Julia Roberts, The Wall Street Journal, Dan Blazarian, Jones Day, All American Rejects, Gypsy Kings, Twitter, League of Legends, USC, Steve Aoki, Chicago, and The Doors.
Oh.
Well,
I have a couple. I have a couple tie-ins to your name drops there. The founder of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, is also the co-founder of Square, and we just interviewed the co-founder of Square, Jim McKelvey, this past week. So a little connection there. And then Tony Braxton was who I was going to marry in middle school and high school.
That didn't work out?
No, I was determined that Tony was going to marry me. And it didn't happen, and I'm glad it worked out great with my wife here. But L.A. Reid is who produced and really introduced Tony Braxton to the world right there, to Tony L.A. Reid and Babyface. Well, what was it like interacting with L.A. Reid? Is he a super cool dude?
He is the only other guy who I know can wear shorts like the way you can. I mean, nobody like you two. So I think you guys are really brothers secretly.
So what was your experience with him? Were you doing a party for him in his backyard, or a big client gathering, or a big corporate event, or what kind of event were you doing?
Yeah, so he's got a new record company called Hitco Records that's got Jennifer Lopez and some other big artists on it.
Cool.
And unfortunately, Tony couldn't have made it. Otherwise, I would have tried to give her your number, figured it out. But
he would have put his good shorts on for
a new artist showcase, and we got hired to do all the lighting for that. So that was really cool.
So what was your life like growing up there? Just so the folks out there who maybe aren't familiar with your story, Elliot, what was your life like growing up as a kid?
Yeah, like I said, I was born this way, so I grew up out in LA. Good life growing up. I enjoy it. Grew up out here, and then I went to college in New York. Studied abroad in Israel for a little bit, and then came back home because I decided I didn't like the cold weather.
And so you came back home, and when did you decide that you wanted to get involved in the lighting industry or the event decor industry?
Sure. I think I kind of fell into that by accident. It was my hobby. And I was playing drums growing up, and actually put my way through school being a drummer. That's kind of I supported myself while I was in New York and then while I was back in LA. And slowly but surely, it went from drums to sound to lighting to projection, and pretty soon my hobby grew out of control, and here we are.
What what services do you guys provide now at Samson Sound and Lighting?
So because we do a lot of corporate events now at the moment. We used to do almost 90 weddings a year. Now we do a little bit less because we're working a little bit more in the event space and the corporate space. But we do sound, lighting, and projection. So anything from one mic to a 60-piece orchestra, 2 speakers to 20, any kind of stage, dance floor lighting, decorative lighting, custom logos in light for companies, and projection screens. We actually just was at Jim Henson Studios, very famous out here, for looking to do an event for a client, and we're looking at putting about 8 projectors into that room to just have like a living decor for them. So it's going to be pretty cool.
How did you fund and found your company? I mean, do you remember where you were located when you started the company?
Well, I was in Oral Roberts University, in my dorm room, and I just decided to start a DJ company. Oh, no, that wasn't me.
Oh, okay, nice. I was going to say, we have a very similar background.
No, how did I fund it first? It was a good question. I was working for I was playing drums, actually, in a band for a youth group that I used to work with, the National Conference of Synagogue Youth, and keeping the kids out of trouble, and they kept calling me, "Hey, Elliot, the sound's not working. Can you come fix it?" So I kept saying, "Okay, hey, I'm on my way. I'll come fix it." But pretty soon I was like, "Hey, listen, you're paying this other guy, but I'm doing all the work. So either start paying me or start, using that other guy to actually who you're paying." So they said, "Well, we like you." So I said, "Okay, well, how about this? Why don't you give me a 4-event contract for like 2 years," because they did 2 national events every year, and 2 will be to make my money back from the new equipment that I don't have to buy because I didn't have a company at the time. Buy or rent, and then and I said, "Listen, as long as I do a good job, keep me around, and then the other 2 will, help me to make it worth my while, and also to try to help fund equipment, and I really actually thought it was going to be a twice-a-year thing, but that helped me to get started."
How did you get the funding needed to start the company?
Door-to-door cookie sales.
Are you serious?
I just worked hard, begged, borrowed, and stole, and I didn't really steal, but
they weren't Girl Scout cookies, were they?
Did you sell cookies?
Yeah. When I was like 6 or 7, I was always going door to door selling stuff. In my neighborhood. So it was magazines, it was chocolate cookies, whatever I was selling. I was going door to door when I was young.
So you literally started your company by going door to door? Going door to door?
Well, if we started when I was 6, then sure.
How did you get the funding to start this? I think a lot of listeners out there, they want to start their own thing, and they're looking up your company right now, and they just want to know, how did you get the money needed to buy your first equipment?
Yeah, so it was that initial contract with that youth group that I said, "Hey, give me a 2-year contract. Let's fund it. I need money to buy some equipment," and that started me off. And then slowly, because again, I was only thinking I was doing this twice a year, but then so I got enough cash to buy some speakers, buy a mixing board, and I had a bunch of mics and stuff like that because I actually ran a recording studio when I was in high school for a little bit, which was pretty cool. But so I always had a little bit of gear hanging around, and I just needed a little bit more to complete it. But I was lucky that I didn't have to go and take a big loan out. I was lucky that I didn't have to go and look for investors to get capital because, little did I know at the time, but I wouldn't have wanted to give up equity in the company just to get started, And
Yeah.
I think if you don't have to do that, that's great. And I was lucky enough that I was able to build it slowly and, kind of pre-sell those first couple contracts.
Yep.
To fund it in the beginning. So.
How big was the first contract? Do you remember the dollar amount? Was it a few $1,000s? Was it thousands and thousands of dollars? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, to me at the time, it was a big deal. It was about, so it was 4 events, and each of them was, and it was about 4 events. Each event was, try about $2,500.
Cool, man. So that was a pretty big deal for you, about a $10,000 deal. I think, when did you say, I think this may work? I mean, when did you get some traction? When did you feel like this was actually working?
Oh, well. When did it, it's...
Or have you even had that thought yet? You were in Vegas, okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So if we... you still got me over there?
I got you.
Oh, okay, cool. So I was, fast forward a couple of years, I was in Vegas and doing a week-long event. And there's all these posters in Vegas for all the performers and all the DJs. And I didn't really know who Steve Aoki was at the time, but I saw a whole bunch of posters with his face on it. And at that point, and actually I got a call while we were in Vegas to say, hey, can you do the charity fundraiser event for Steve Aoki? And I said, oh, you mean the guy on all the posters? Sure. Why not?
The man with the cakes?
So then I figured, the man with the cake, yeah. It was the actually first and only event that I've done that they had a giraffe at that event. And they said, well, Elliot, we're not going to spend a ton on the lighting because we think people are going to remember the giraffe more. And I said, huh? And I turned to the caterer next to me. I said, what did you hear? And he goes, yeah, I heard giraffe too. I said,
real live giraffe?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
So, and it was cool. We showed up. There was a giraffe on the red carpet. First time I ever lit a giraffe, and it worked out great.
So now, how did you originally hear about us?
So being a drummer, I was on tour, and the company was doing pretty well. I had a good team at the time doing events. I was able to put some systems in place kind of without knowing it. And I said, well, I want to learn more about business and growing the business. And I got turned on. My synagogue had a mentors program. And that guy said, well, why are you spending money on new equipment? And I said, well, because I like it and it's really shiny and these speakers are really cool. And he said, well, why don't you put your money into marketing instead? And I said, well, what's marketing? So I started to go online and look up podcasts and try to learn more about business and got a little bit hooked. And I have to say I listened to you guys for about the full 3 weeks when I was on tour. And I was hooked. I went through, gosh, I don't even know how many shows. And then got a call from, I think, Marshall, actually. And did an assessment, and he said, hey, are you interested? And I said, well, I don't know. And very, very glad I ended up signing on with you guys.
What's been your experience like attending the conferences and then the one-on-one coaching?
So the conference is another world. It's the best thing you can go to really learn practical advice as a new business owner. And I think there's not only new business owners there. I mean, I was sitting in the room at the first conference with who's the gentleman who's the founder, or I'm not sure if he's the founder, but the president of Scribe Media.
Oh yes,
JT.
Yeah,
JT McCormick. Yep.
So I got to sit next to him pretty much at that conference, and actually, funny enough, on the way back to LA, I was in the airport next to him waiting at TSA, and we were having a great chat.
That's so funny. That is so funny because he produces the book for two guys you like, Jason. We've got Tiffany Haddish. He helped her publish her book, and who else was it?
The Supermarine or the
Goggins?
Navy SEAL Goggins. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but again, it's so fun at the conferences because you're sitting next to entrepreneurs who are super successful, and it's just such a surreal thing when you're building a baby business and you're meeting with somebody who's way down the path, or maybe you're just starting and they're a little bit further down the path, or maybe they're at the end of the path. And we have one guy who comes to conferences a lot, who sold his company for a ton of money, and he was sitting next to one of my clients. This just happened yesterday, by the way. My client, this was the story yesterday. My client calls me and says, "Hey, I just got an offer to sell my company for $21 million. Would you do it?"
Oh.
And I said, "Oh yeah, yeah," because based on the economy, the availability of private equity, his industry, a lot of variables. I said, absolutely. Sure. But what's interesting is that this particular thriver who has sold his business comes to the conferences just to look for opportunities and to meet other thrivers and to look for business niches to get involved in. And I want to go back into your niche, because your niche is sound and lighting. And you're obviously having some success now. You're building that momentum. But what was the lowest point for you? Because I think when you come to a conference, you can sit by people that are struggling or have struggled, and they kind of encourage each other. What was the lowest low point for you in your career thus far?
Oh, sure. I mean, gosh, you sit next to JT and you hear his story, and I think, man, life's good for me. I had no issues growing up. I mean, he really had an amazing story. But gosh, for me, I was building up the company. We were getting some momentum. I was storing my ever-growing gear in my grandfather's garage at that point. And we just, I had floor-to-ceiling equipment in there. And I'd say within about 1 week, my wife and I had separated. So my marriage kind of fell apart. And my garage burned down. There was an electrical fire in there, and the insurance denied the claim, and left me with about $2,500 for everything that had been in there, which was probably 40 to 60,000 in equipment. So yeah, that was a rough week. I think I even came down with pneumonia that week also. It was quite a week. How did you not quit?
How did you not quit? And what advice would you have for anybody out there who's going through a similar series of unfortunate circumstances? How did you not quit?
Yeah, oddly enough, I didn't have a choice. I kind of thankfully didn't have time to think about it. I had an event that night, so even as the fire department's there spraying a whole bunch of water on the gear to put it out because it was on fire, neither of which is good for sound and lighting equipment. I had to figure out how to service my clients. I mean, really what I sell is not sound and lighting. I sell problem solving. And that night my client had a problem. He needed lighting and sound and a drummer. And we made it happen. So, digging through rubble, basically, trying to figure out what we had that still worked, calling in a couple quick favors and renting gear. And it was really just getting back and doing events. If I had enough time to really think about it and feel sorry for myself, I don't know. We may have never met. I wouldn't be talking to you now today like this. I would have gone and done something else. But I didn't have the opportunity to do that. They had to keep going.
I want to make sure the listeners out there hear this over and over and over again. But Conrad Hilton, the founder of the Hilton hotel chain, he once wrote, "Success seems to be connected with action. Successful people keep moving. Mm-hmm. They make mistakes, but they don't quit." And I'm not going to argue with a dead man, but I would say, only edit I would make to his quote is, success is connected with action. Successful people do keep moving. They make mistakes, but they don't quit. I've never had a client I've met who hasn't made mistakes. I think the value of a mentor is they can help you avoid mistakes, but you're going to have mistakes. What advice would you give to a younger version of yourself as it relates to business?
Well, definitely would be great if they read their fire insurance contract a little better than I did.
Right.
That would be
pro tip.
That would have been a nice. Pro tip. Yeah, pro tip. Read your insurance contract and then read it again, and then don't trust them and have someone else read it. that I think was good. Get a mentor, get a coach right away. Gosh, I mean, I always looked at it as my hobby, and kind of funny enough, when I was sitting next to JT at that first conference,
Yep.
and really at that point, you know, I had 6 guys working part-time for me, and we were doing hundreds of events, and but I still wasn't able to trust myself that this was really a career for me. And I turned to JT. I said, "Hey, how do I know if this is a career? How do I know if sound and lighting, you know, can be something that I can, you know, build a company on and build a life on?" And he just turned to me and he said, "Well, that's easy." He says, "Because other people have done it. You know, that's not the question you need to ask yourself." And I went, huh, because that was really the question that was bugging me for years. I said, gosh, I don't know, is this industry, is sound and lighting a thing? And he's like, no, that's not the right question. I know sound and lighting's a thing because we have companies out there that are successful that are doing it. He said, you just have to figure out how to go out there and do it better. And then take all those clients and don't look back.
Were there people that challenged you on that? Were there, like, you know, parents, grandparents? Were there people that said, hey, when are you going to get a real job? When are you going to quit this hobby music thing?
That's a great question.
I mean, because you said you crossed the country to go to college and then studied abroad, and then, you know, they feel like, hey, we've got this investment in something. Was there a point where they said, hey, when are you going to do something real?
Yeah, Clay, do you mind calling my mom? That would be awesome. I appreciate it.
So she's still challenging it. Is that what you're saying?
No, they've been great. I think they still look at it a little skeptically and, you know, think, well, wouldn't it be better, safer if you just, you know, went back to your old job and worked at the school district, if you just, you know, had that pension that vested, if you just, you know, went that safe, comfortable route. You know, I've got my Jewish grandparents, so if I'm not a doctor or a lawyer, you know, who am I?
I want to throw this out here for somebody out there because I vividly, we all experience entrepreneurship a little differently, but my wife and I, after I sold DJ Connection, I kept getting hired to do speaking events, and it was very organic how it happened. It wasn't any marketing. It was just, you know, Elliot, people were reaching out to me, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that event. So I spoke to Rose State College. And that led to a lady seeing me speak at a small college, I think in Alva, Oklahoma, where they have big windmills or something.
Rose State? It's not even in existence anymore, is it?
Really? I don't know.
No.
So then the Alva College booked me once and then booked me twice. And then somebody who was there referred me to an event in San Diego that led to another one. And eventually I was speaking all the time. And one month we had 12 events in the same month with a tour that featured going to Toronto, Denver, San Diego, driving somewhere to Springfield, Missouri to speak for O'Reilly's, all in the same month. And I remember turning to my wife because she went with me on all the events, and I said, we have got to do it differently. We got to build a building where people can come to us. But I remember that every single person that heard that I was turning down speaking events to build my own thing so that people could travel to Tulsa to see it said I was crazy. So I eventually just quit telling people. They would ask me like, hey, dude, how come you're not speaking anymore? And I said, well, I am, but they're coming to Tulsa. And the first conference that I rolled out in Tulsa, we had 30, it was almost 40. I think Carter was at that one. Carter Watts was at that one. We had like 40 people in attendance. Yep. I think maybe it was Dr. J was there, I think.
Nice.
And he flew in, and it's like business meets comedy.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for it, it's like, is this a thing?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think then those people referred people, and it starts to happen. But
did you ever have like a if you build it, they'll come moment?
We just talked about that.
I never had that moment. I can just say that it comes down to marketing because I could feel I could feel like that's going to be a thing all I want, but until I actually market the thing and get it in front of our ideal and likely buyers, it's not going to be a thing. Final question here for you before we let you go here. You've read a lot of books on your path to success. What are a couple books you'd recommend for all the listeners out there to read?
Gosh, well, you guys started me. I mean, so I'm definitely blaming you completely for this. I've been just listening. I do a lot of Audible because I drive a whole bunch in LA. In LA, it's not a matter of how close things are; it's a matter of what time you try to get there.
Yeah.
With our traffic, but so yeah, definitely. I started with Think and Grow Rich, and that's a must.
Napoleon
From
Hill.
there, I think the last couple ones I've read or listened to. I like to say read because it makes me feel good. But the E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Yep.
That one was awesome. I think I need to listen to that another 10 times. And then Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki was pretty phenomenal.
Cash Flow Quadrant, just so we know if you're out there, it explains the journey of going from an employee to being self-employed to being an owner of a company that doesn't require your time, to being an investor. It's a phenomenal book. Think and Grow Rich, I named my son after the author, Napoleon Hill. My son's name is Aubrey Napoleon Hill. An E-Myth by Michael Gerber will teach you how to work on the business and not in the business. I have, I guess, one final sneaky question for you. For anybody out there who has not come to a conference yet, why do you believe they should all come out to at least one in-person workshop?
I think just like you said, you can read these books and learn how to work, on your business and not in it, and learn how to try to take your money and buy, assets. But the conference is such an immersive experience, from just the energy to sitting next to people who have done it and done it multiple times successfully, getting all your questions answered. That's amazing, Clay. I don't know how you get these whiteboards filled up with questions, and then you think, man, there's no way he's going to answer all these questions. And then you guys just blast through those. So it's very personal and it's very practical. So I think that's something you can only get at a conference, is the personal and the practical.
And you might get to be next to the
I've never
founder
seen
of
another
Sound
conference that done it.
Well, I appreciate you so much for taking your time out of your schedule and for waking up at 5 in the morning your time on the day where we lost an hour.
True.
So I appreciate you for waking up 4 o'clock California time to bless people that you've never met. Again, Mr. Sampson, thank you so much. And what's your website one more time so the listeners out there can check it out?
Yeah, absolutely. So the company is Sampson Sound and Lighting, and the website is lalightingandsound.com, and it's a phenomenal site. Designed by Jason over there and the team at Thrive. And you guys just keep helping me grow it and scale it and repeat that. So I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you, my friend, and I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. We'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks so much. All right.
Take care, man.
Take care. Stay warm.
Bye-bye.
In a Fox 23 television exclusive, a local company is taking small businesses to new leaps and bounds by linking them up with world-class education from millionaires, moguls, and everyday success stories. Fox 23 Sharon Phillips is live downtown on why it could have a big impact on our local economy.
It's already changing the face of small business right here in Tulsa.
We have to determine that we're going to live before we die.
One quick glance at this wall, and it's clear that CEO Clay Clark knows what he's talking about. Right now, he is one of America's most sought-after business and entrepreneurship coaches. He's working to teach entrepreneurs specifically what they need to start and grow a business.
Marketing, sales, PR.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart, and I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good, and then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah, but I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Okay, Aaron Antis, guess who's joining us for the December 4th and 5th, 2025 Thrivetime Show Business Growth Workshop?
Whoa. Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, we will not be joined by Santa Claus, but we will be joined by Eric Trump, the son of the 45th and now 47th President of these United States. And yes, Amanda Grace will be in the place. And yes, Dr. Stella Manuel will be there, so you know it will go well. Yes, we have Mel K in the house. Pastor Phil and Tammy Hotzenpiller will be hosting this event at their beautiful church right there in sunny Anaheim, California. Yes, folks, make this a December to remember.
You surprised?
Make this a December to remember and join us at the 2-day interactive business growth workshops. For over 20 years, folks, I've been hosting business growth workshops where we're going to teach you marketing, sales systems, human resources, accounting, social media marketing, branding, sales training, search engine optimization, accounting, workflow development, financial management, all this and more. How do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, how do you get tickets? Go to thrivetimeshow.com and request tickets today. And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States, and this just in from our home office, President Donald J. Trump is now the 47th president of these United States as well.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
He needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint. Right. I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last, pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second.
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
Germans? Forget it, he's rolling.
It ain't over now.
The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here with...
Whoa. There's a lot of togetherness and closeness, camaraderie.
So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard. And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch. And this is also your opportunity to meet some of the great speakers like Pastor Dave Scarlett. You could meet Mel Kay. You could meet Amanda Grace. You could meet Dr. Stella Emanuel. You could just grab a coffee. You could find some alone time. You could get lost in the bathroom. You could try to go and get a photo with one of the speakers. You could try to photobomb a photo where someone else is getting a photo with the speakers. You could go attempt to find your phone, wallet, and your keys.
My phone, wallet, keys, phone, wallet, keys.
Whoa.
Now that's a good idea.
Well, it's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole. No exaggeration, and I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double, and you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. Whoa. Add to that, Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple, I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch.
Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
It's an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. Someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay, I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now. thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the event's going to be on December 4th and 5th in sunny Anaheim, California. Great weather. Make this a December to remember. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump Organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. You think that's going to change your life? I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life changing. It is life changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right. Really. So if you're looking to have life changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop in beautiful Anaheim, California.
I'm Kay Dixon. I'm from Sarasota, Florida.
I'm Vince Suzuki, also from Sarasota, Florida.
He dragged me here.
Yep, was here in 2018, and it changed my business, and I built another business, and now I'm here to do it again with this business. So.
Yeah, I'm a brand strategist, and it's been really easy to go to a lot of events like this and just leave really in your head like what to do next. And already there's the strategic, step-by-step, real-life implementation that we can do to our business. And I'm so grateful to be here and very excited that Eric Trump is here, and that is going to be epic.
Hi, my name is Erica, and it has been amazing being here. The conference, I'm learning so much. Everything is perfect for me.
But that Clay Clark, man, he is one character.
It's a good word for him. Character. Yeah, that is it.
Good, driven, smart, and I've never met a guy who was so hyper all the time. He's doing so much good, and then I met his mother, and she just says, she just lets him be Clay Clark. I mean, so he's endorsed by his mother, and he's doing magnificent work. So it was great meeting you out there and all the people that he surrounds himself with. Clay Clark starts his days at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, he's a machine. He's a machine.
Yeah. But I have problems with my company starting at 9 o'clock. Yes, hundreds of people showing up at 5 a.m. in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, he's a leader of a leader. He's a fantastic young man.
No, he is. He is. Yeah. And it's for the folks that aren't familiar with you, and probably few and far between, I first came across you, gosh, probably 15 years ago, or maybe even